Do 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 do. We're almost live. We're almost live.
Sound.
I have no way of checking the who's here, who's not. I would have had to open it in YouTube Studio.
Yeah. Say hi to Louise.
Dino! Ta-da! We're here.
Different location.
Different location.
Same,
Yep.
same people.
Same people. Same bat time, same bat channel, different bat cave. Now, our internet is very spotty here, so who knows what's going to happen. But
It's not terribly reliable, that's for sure.
I also don't have access to the list of everybody's here, so sadly I can't go through and say hi to everybody. But we'll try. Somebody named Angela. Hi, Angela. Welcome to the chat. Normally I would knight you, but I can't do that today.
Yeah.
But greetings to all the knights of the Rhomboid table. I am here in the castle of Erfurt, the great meeting hall of the castle of Erfurt, known as some little apartment in the south side of the Altstadt. And when I say little, I mean I'm now in the kitchen. Actually, no, it's that way. It's in the kitchen.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah. Dining room for sure. The dining room table's about right there. Sound and picture good. Yeah. And come on, camera. We might, let's go to the other camera because that one's going to act up today. So there we go. So we'll be a little bit, but this one's more consistent. The other one's a little unstable. Whoop. Yeah, there we go. All right, we'll get off that camera and go to this one. Anyhow, hello everyone, fellow Knights of the Rhomboid table. Hope you're all well. Oh, wrong way, wrong way, wrong way.
How bad is the weather? It's just drizzly.
It was drizzly today. It's cloudy. It's supposed to stop here tomorrow, which is good because the one big outdoor activity we're doing is tomorrow. I want to go to some caves that are about 30 kilometers north of here called the Kufhäuser because they're legendary caves. There's a long story about it. I could tell it, but I might put half the people to sleep, although my students always like the story. Hi, Jean Ricard. So, hello, Tom Couples and Tom Houston. Sir Tim, our CEO, is here. Dame Angela is here. I saw Sir Randall Ellison, Sir Greg, Sir Dino, Sir Ifo, Fanzone is here. I was scrolling back.
2010 did.
Yeah, that's Tim.
Yeah, okay.
Sir Clive from Newland Railway is here. I think I said hi to Randall. And yeah, wow, what's happened? Hey, there's Chris from the Valleys. What's happened in the last week since we were in Ebersbach? Well, a lot. A lot train related, some crazy train adventures.
Hello, Scott. Old Kirby Junction.
Hey, Sir Scott. Nice to have you here. So let's get into it. Since we last were together last Friday, Joyce and I went to the towns of Tübingen, beautiful
Mhm.
town,
Very pretty,
the town of Heidelberg.
very
We
pretty.
went to the town of Heidelberg. That was awesome.
Also had a castle.
Yeah, Tübingen. We went to the castle in Tübingen and the castle in. We did what? Was it 4 days in a row of castles?
At least 4
At
days.
least
Yeah.
four. We went to Heidelberg, and then the grandest and most insane one of all, Hohenzollern. You're just lost.
I've drawn a blank.
Rain Hill.
Yeah.
Um, the wildest trip so far.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm with you now. Sorry.
We've gone to a lot of beautiful towns, and unfortunately, on this laptop and trying to do this through StreamYard, we're very limited as to how quickly I can put things in and stream it along. And I don't have enough time to set it up.
Weird.
So it makes it hard. I'd love to share a few of our pictures.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Sir Eric, hello, and the family. I assume little Lord Willie is on summer break. Dame Cara. So apparently it's cheaper to do your grocery shopping on the German side. Um, yeah, I guess it can be. We do a little grocery shopping. So anyhow, we got to get into the story of Hohenzollern. Now, first of all, Hohenzollern Castle is south of Stuttgart. Now, the Hohenzollern family, originally they were just called the Zollern family, but
Gotcha, Eric. Yeah.
when they were raised to the level of nobility of Duke, actually Markgraf first, which means military compound area. When they were raised up to the level of Markgraf, they changed their name from Zollern to Hohenzollern, which means the High Zollerns, because they were now a royal bloodline or a noble bloodline. And the thing is, the Hohenzollerns became famous not for anything they did in this region, or well, not this region anymore, but over by Stuttgart, but because they were taken from their little territory south of Stuttgart in Swabia and had taken over an area called Brandenburg, which at the time was considered a nothing little burg, except the title, the territory of Brandenburg came with a special title, Elector Prince. It was one of the 7 princes of the Holy Roman Empire who could vote for the emperor. So when the Hohenzollerns took it over, they became very important big shots, even though their territory was considered backwoods, mosquito-ridden, crappy territory. They were even given that title, was more as a slap in the face to the Habsburgs than it was for anything the Hohenzollerns did. But the Hohenzollerns moved over there, but through a series of very clever family members, they expanded their territory and eventually took parts of what is today Pomerania and the state of Brandenburg. And then they, through marriage and some alliances, they were given some territory in the Polish kingdom called Preußen or Prussia. Prussia actually started as part of the Polish kingdom. And long story short, they kind of broke Prussia away from Poland. They added Brandenburg to it and called themselves the Kingdom of Prussia. And that's when the Hohenzollerns really rose. So anyhow, and then they became the last 3 emperors of Germany. The Kaiser Wilhelm the First, and then Kaiser Wilhelm the Second, World War I fame. But anyhow, the Hohenzollerns have this big castle that they built and then remodeled heavily once they rose to emperor of Germany. And it's a glorious castle, but it's up on a tall, steep hill.
It's the only thing up on that hill.
Yeah, it's the hilltop is their castle, and it's a beautiful castle. The thing is, there's a bus that you have to take, and it only goes up in the morning twice. Otherwise, you have to drive. You have to drive a car. We don't have cars, so we have to rely on public transportation. There's a bus that goes up twice in the morning and then comes and picks you up 3 times in the afternoon, late afternoon, evening.
Basically 4:30, 5:30.
4:30, 5:30, and 6:30. The last bus
Right.
picks you up at 6:30. So we always decide we want to leave in time to catch the second to last bus.
Right. And the timing was good.
Yes, we did. So they're home, you're going to work. Oh, okay, Eric, second shift again. But
okay.
anyhow, we had a lovely tour of the castle. Rain was forecasted to come about 6 to 7. So we figured we'll get out of the castle, catch the bus at 5:30. Oh, that's Lynn answering you. Figure we'll catch the 5:30 bus back down the mountain, because to walk down the mountain and back into the town station would take 2 hours. The bus takes about 35 minutes or so. So yeah, it would not have been pleasant. Anyhow, the rain came early. We're at the bus stop at 5 o'clock, and by 5:10, the bus is supposed to be there at 5:30. By 5:10, it's raining. By 5:20, it's pouring. We found first a little utility shed with an overhang and hid under that. Then the wind kicked in and the rain was going horizontal. So we found a bike rack. And they had a nice roof over the plastic roof over the bike rack, so we could stay dry. Now, why they had nothing to protect us down at the bus stop, don't know.
Right.
So and you can see we're only 20 feet away from the bus stop.
Close enough, yeah.
But then the wind changed direction, and they were having thunderstorms, all kinds of nasty weather around us. 5:30, the bus didn't come. 5:35, the workers are coming down. The shuttle bus that takes you all the way up to the castle, because you have to take a train station to this one town. The bus picks you up at the train station, takes you to the shuttle. The shuttle takes you up to the mountain. Well, we took the shuttle back down to the bus stop, and the shuttle keeps going up and picks up all the workers and brings them back to the parking lot, which is down there. Anyhow, bus never came. So hi. So 5:45, 5:50-ish, some workers come down and the rain is pouring. They've got their umbrellas out and they decide they're gonna hop into this utility shed. One of the workers has got a key. They hop into the shed. And by the way, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt because it was warm and the temperatures dropped quite a bit. So I'm kind of cold and I'm drenched.
Right. Oh yeah.
And we go into the we went into the shed with them. They opened up the shed and we came in. They started talking to us, and fortunately it was a couple of the tour guides that I had some lovely conversations with while we were in there. Not tour guides, docents. They stay in different rooms and answer questions if you have them
up there
and make sure you behave yourselves in the room. But if you ask them questions, they love to chat. And so I chatted a couple of them up. And they asked me, what's the matter? I said, well, there's supposed to be a bus at 5:30 and it's not here. There's supposed to be
almost 6 o'clock.
It's 6 o'clock. It's not here. And the one guy called the bus garage for us and said, where is that bus? They said, oh, we don't know if it's going up because of the weather. Okay, then you can just randomly cancel the bus, even though there might be people up there.
Abandoned us up there.
They abandoned us on the mountain because we took the bus up and said we'll be coming down. And it's a regularly scheduled bus. It's not like it only runs as needed.
Yeah, it has stops along
which
the
is
way.
Kuffhäuser.
Yeah. Right.
So we're in a downpour. Joyce and I are soaked, and this one docent just looked at us and says, I'll take you to the train station.
Hi, Grant Salisbury.
Oh, hello, Mr. Salisbury. Welcome in. Normally I would night you guys, but I don't have access to the nights today.
Oh, nothing's normal. This is not a normal life.
Yeah, this is not a normal live feed. Normally, I'd be running my trains in my basement in Toledo, Ohio, but we are in
Right.
Erfurt, Germany,
That's
with
right.
bad Wi-Fi.
Right. Spotty, questionable.
Hello, Eugene or Eugen, but hello. Um, that's great to hear you're doing well. Um, so we fortunately we got down, but the much shorter version is we were drenched and we were worried we were going to have to try to figure out. They have a number you're supposed to call. Like if the bus doesn't come, call this number. Well, the guy
There's a
did.
sign down there, or call a taxi or those type of
Yeah,
things.
and they also have. And here's taxis to call if the bus doesn't come.
But it's raining hard.
It's raining hard. Trying to stand in the rain, dial
Glasses,
So,
Yeah, it was bad.
and
Yeah.
because we thought the rain was going to hold off till after we left,
Yeah.
a couple of knuckleheads did not bring their umbrellas with them.
We messed up a few things. We did not bring umbrellas, and we have rain jackets. I mean, we are prepared for the rain, but we weren't.
But Miss Weather Forecaster said the
And-
rain should be holding off.
Yeah. And then it was sunny in the morning. We put some clothes out to dry.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Oops, they weren't dry when we got
they
home.
sure weren't.
We had washed some clothes and left them out
Yeah.
hanging. Maybe it's not raining in Aversbach. No, it rained.
It was raining.
Wasn't supposed to rain in Aversbach until 8, 9 o'clock. And
Right.
we're going to be back by then. Nope.
Although it
But
was pretty close
bless,
to that.
bless Dorothea's heart. She gave us a ride down.
Oh, yeah.
She and her friend gave us a ride down.
She saved us.
She saved us. Beautiful castle, beautiful day. We were in such great moods, but by the time we got back to our Aversbach apartment, drenched and just.
What? Now we're down to 2 towels because I had the other 2 outside. It's like all my ways to dry things faster are gone.
So that was the crazy one.
I
Then
took the rest of the time to get everything dry.
then we stayed local for a couple of days. We just stayed in
Well,
Aversbach and Stuttgart. We went into Stuttgart. We
yeah.
bought a Stuttgart City Pass and just did. I shouldn't say everything. Like people are.
Felt like we needed to use it. So.
Yeah. Oh, we went through the zoo, the botanical garden, which is gorgeous. We went through a bunch of little things. No, we didn't go through the.
We did the earth science.
We did the
museum.
natural history museums, 2 of them.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, go for it painting. Howdy.
I go for it painting.
So, but we had a great time the last couple of days in Stuttgart and really toured some things.
Yeah.
However, we never made it to the Stuttgart shop, the Stuttgart Markland store.
Oh, yeah, because he wasn't open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's only open like a couple of days a week now. Markland doesn't tell you that.
Through
Thursday through Saturday. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, and we were in Stuttgart on like Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
So, or
We were
Tuesday,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and he's open
Yeah,
Thursday, Friday,
it's just-
Saturday.
Had we known that, we could have rearranged a few things.
Right.
But it didn't
Because
happen.
his hours are not correct on Google information or his website.
Yeah, today we look up.
Well, let's not go there. Yeah, we're building up. We're
I'm
going
sorry.
chronologically.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was.
We're going to build up that story. Yeah, we did go into one little shop in Stuttgart.
Mhm.
Actually, it wasn't a little shop. It was the Muller's department store. I love Muller's department, the big
Yes,
ones,
he does.
because they've got great model train sections. Now, the one in Stuttgart had a decent one, but we did not. The only thing I showed a few things last week. The only thing I picked up since last week, as far as model train stuff goes. Oops. I'm doing a U.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a couple of the startup tankers. These were very inexpensive. They were like $20 each.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was looking for was some decent Era 6 tankers.
Yeah.
So these are startups, so they're not necessarily as well detailed as their higher range stuff. But for $20, you can't go wrong. I think they look sure.
So it's more stock. You did tour.
Oh,
Germany's largest construction.
yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, EFO. Now, what I assume EFO is talking about is Stuttgart train station.
Train station.
We were in Stuttgart in 2023, and the station 3 years ago, and the station was all tore up,
This year, right?
and it doesn't look like a damn thing's been done.
No, looks like nothing.
Now, actually, plenty has been done, but in terms of the crazy way you got to try to walk from you can't just walk out the train station front door and get to taxis or the subway stop. You have to take this crazy circular walk around, zigzag around this way to get to that's the front subway area or the taxis, which we don't use anyhow. Or you take this slightly less long walk the other way to go to the subways or the U-Bahn, the subway station outside.
So we took the very long path to get around to those.
It
The
is.
second day we did the U-Bahn, which is a little bit shorter. And the nice thing about that is you could actually see some progress. And when we came back up, we managed to get on the other side. And we could see in the picture they have of what the station's going to look like. We could see pieces, parts of it that was already completed. You're like, oh, that's what that was.
But in terms of the disruption and how to get around, it was identical.
It's
the walls, the construction, you couldn't, unless you look through the little holes in the fences and compared to what you saw 3 years ago, you really can't tell anything's been done. A lot's been done behind the scenes, but oh my God, it is a disaster.
Years you would expect more. Yeah.
Getting into the station is fine. Getting out of the station is fine as long as you're on a train. If you have to use a bus or a subway or a streetcar,
said they
or you want to get the subway,
another delay.
I saw.
I was trying to chase it, but then the internet.
No. So yeah, I got just these two little tankers. This was from the Mueller store. I mean, there are trains and things I've seen where, oh, that's cool, but I don't want to spend that money on those things because I'm still holding out to find other things. Hey, Sir Aaron, the holiday's going. I mean, we like to, I don't want it to sound like we're having a bad time at all. We're having a great time. We just share the more adventurous stories. I would love to be able to.
Yeah, most trips are we go there, we see what we want to see, we go back.
It would be insane to try to show the pictures. I mean, now my Facebook page has pictures of every day's trip, although I haven't put today's up.
Yeah, follow it, you'll see something.
Tübingen, Heidelberg.
We've been.
You can friend Joyce's page if you don't like my politics, because Joyce is linked to it, and then all you'll get is the announcement.
Mine too.
Yeah, well, but not as like I do.
Okay.
But anyhow, so yeah, I mean, Tübingen was a beautiful city. It's a college town. It's a very young town. The biggest thing about Tübingen and Heidelberg is it's almost as bad as the city of Munster and Amsterdam when it comes to bicyclists. The bicyclists are insane.
That's true.
They're everywhere, and they apparently have developed teleportation powers because you're about to cross the street, which includes going past 2 bike lanes. So you look, okay, no bike coming. You step into the bike lane, and 7 are bing, 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 because they all have bells to tell you to get out of their way. But yeah, so the other crazy thing we had was getting to Erfurt. We got to the train station plenty of time, and our train was originally not running late, but then it did run late. But what they did was they say it's on platform 6. Nope, it's on platform 7. And then and another ICE came on platform 6.
Going to the end location.
Yeah, end location. They're both going to Munich Hauptbahnhof. So I just got on it. Oh, well, here's our car.
Berlin and Gesundheit.
Oh, right. Gesundbrunnen.
Gesundbrunnen.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Berlin, Gesundbrunnen.
Yeah, they were going to the same place. So
they say ours is on 6, then they move it to 7, then they say ours is on 6 again. So this train comes in, we get on it. There are people sitting in our seats.
It wasn't right.
Hello, Mara.
wasn't what we were expecting at all.
And so
Oh,
we
it
got on the
sure
train.
does
We're fighting
air
like,
up.
wait, our car is not stopping where it's supposed to, but we did find car 23. We get on it, seat 71, 73. But wait, that says it's reserved to Berlin.
Yeah,
Well, no, it should be reserved
wasn't
to
the
Erfurt.
right
And we
place.
finally
Yeah.
asked somebody, and they're like, no, that's on the other platform
We're
now.
like, oh shit,
Shit.
turn around. I can't turn
Because
around
you're
my back.
fighting
Back,
people
back,
trying to
back.
get off the train and on the
Oh,
train,
it
and
was
there's a line
crazy.
of people blocking us, and our train is on the other platform,
Right.
leaving in a minute. We're trying to get off this
So
train.
then we get on the wrong car.
Yeah. On the outside, it said car 23. You get on, nope, this is car
Oh,
25, car 23.
so many people
Everybody was confused.
in that car. You couldn't move.
Hey, Sir Chuck Schreiber, how are you?
Hi, Chuck. It was pretty, it was kind of awful. And just even when we finally got to our seats, we finally got our luggage in a reasonable place near our seats. Um, there were still just a lot of people in
It
the
was
aisles,
chaos.
and
It was
it
chaos.
just felt very chaotic till we got off and out of that train.
And then we wound up, we still had enough time.
Any problem, and it ended up being a little troublesome.
So when we got to Nuremberg, they changed the platform of our train again, but we still had plenty of time to go to the next
Yeah,
platform and get
so,
on it.
yeah,
And our train was actually there early, which was cool. So we were able to get on, get situated, and then the ride up to
Right.
Erfurt. But yeah, it was just
say
there's a lot of chaos in the Stuttgart area with
there was an
trains.
escalator, which was
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, because
Oh, God.
running with those heavy
Hey,
bags.
trying to move in a hurry with heavy bags.
So getting to Erfurt now, the only negativity with Erfurt is we've had some rain, but we did get out last night and have some.
Yeah, but it's been rain, no rain. We actually had sunny sky for a while last night. That was a little weird.
So
And yeah, and then drizzle, a lot of drizzle.
so then,
Yes.
okay. So whenever we get to a city, now yesterday we unpack, we get settled, and we take it easy. We'll usually do an evening stroll into the Altstadt, not our official tour.
Right. And we
Just to
went to the
familiarize,
grocery
and a
store,
grocery store. We got to
Right.
find a grocery store.
get our breakfast.
But we toured and we found a nice little. Decided we wanted some ice cream for dinner. And we stopped off a nice little Italian restaurant. The sun came out in the evening. We got some beautiful shots of the town hall in the evening.
Right.
Do I have that one available? No, that's us in Heidelberg. Sorry. I was going to show it's a cool town hall. It's not the fanciest or
Yeah.
most elaborate, but it's cool. But it's a beautiful little
Solid.
square. We had a great time with that, and but our first full day is always we're going to tour the city. You know, it's the city we've chosen to live in for a few days. We're going to tour that city.
Yeah, get our feel for it and try to get around. And
Oh, they've announced a lot of Akira scale
Really?
Irish models. Well, that's cool because
that is cool.
there's not enough of that. Hello, Hermitage Road. Howdy, howdy, howdy. And a Pete is here. Which Pete is here? Do we have our friend? That's Hermitage Road Pete. Okay. So the thing is, to start our tour, there's a Märklin store. And it's open Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Tuesday through Saturday. It's closed Sunday and Monday. Well, today was Friday.
Good day, right?
I check because Joyce even says, "You want to check to see if it's open?" Yes. Click. Yes, it's open. So we got up this morning. First thing we did was walk over to the state, a stop, and catch a tram because it's way on the north end of town. We're on the south end of the town near the train station, and this Märklin shop is on the north end beyond the Altstadt. So it was a 20-minute tram ride away. So we get off the tram and it's a 2-minute walk. Yep. Oh, okay. There's the little sign in the window. It's a Märklin shop. And wait a minute. This doesn't look right.
It doesn't look open.
It doesn't look open.
It's not open.
some cool stuff in the window. Sign in the window, we're closed because the family's on vacation until the 15th.
Yeah.
I
Poor Anthony.
kept
Terrible.
not even teasing, being serious with Joyce. Like, we're going to go to a lot of train shops on this trip. This trip is about visiting train shops. Every freaking train shop closed, unannounced, closed,
Right.
or to get there is impossible because traffic's been there. Or we've gotten to them and the train shop is now a school supply store with a small train section.
Right.
Which none of this is updated in anybody's database.
Right.
I am having just absolutely
It's
yeah,
out of the way.
yeah, let me move these racks out of the way and you'll find our American stuff back here. And then this big American shop closed today and it won't be open. Now we'll still be here, so we're still going to get to it.
Yeah, we can get to it next week.
I have had nothing but bad luck when it's come to model trains on this trip. The first time I announced we're doing model trains on this trip. Now there was another shop. There's another shop. Now we did the rest of our tour of the city, saw the cathedral and everything, very beautiful, even with the weather being. Yeah.
Up to the
we went up to the big fortifications.
That was kind of cool.
The how did they? Oh, the
watching the Wurzels on the top of the pops.
Okay. The Wurzels on top of the pops. The Wurzels, hey. So it just anyhow, we said, okay, it's on the way home. It's only about a 6-minute walk from our apartment to the shop. The thing is, the shop is not a Miraklin shop. It's online as they specialize in TT, but they have HO, but it's 2-rail stuff. But they also have supplies, Zubehör in German, accessories. So we stopped off at that shop. Beautiful lady, tiny shop, half empty.
Tim, broken in and helped yourself. We don't want to tour the.
We don't want to tour the German
prison.
justice system.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness, it was so insane. It was just so insane. But yeah, we went into this shop. Very nice lady, and mentioned that I was into Märklin. Like, oh no, we don't do Märklin here.
She
No,
was very quick to say that.
but a lot of empty shelves, so they're clearly shrinking. But yeah, mostly TT. They had quite a bit of Pico. They had Tillig, yeah, Tillig.
Okay.
But they had Pico and Rocco TT as well, and a couple other companies I'd never heard of that did TT.
HO.
And they had a little bit of HO. There was one set, they had some Flix trains, but it was sleeper wagons from not Trix, Flix. Flix. They had Flix trains. From was it Rocco or Pico? But there were 2 sleeper cars, and I really debated getting them because I do want to expand my Flix train. But I got talked out of it.
Sorry. Just didn't feel like what you want.
It wasn't top of the list, but yeah, if I could find the Märklin 4-car set that would go with the cars I have.
Check TT stuff.
No, it was predominantly German. It was East German. It was an East German model shop. Okay, a lot of East German stuff in there. They had some modern stuff. They had a Pico ICE3 and some matching cars to go with it. I mean, they had I won't say a decent supply of HO, but they had some HO there. They had some HO freight, but it wasn't anything I was after. They even had a couple of Fleischmann things and a Wiesmann flatbed that did something pretty crazy that it cost 120 euros.
Right.
But since, let's see, who else does scan? Sir Andy, March West Junction, Holly. So anyhow, but she was a very nice lady. We had quite a lovely chat.
Yeah.
So
it made her a little nervous, I think, but it was okay.
Something my layout could use because they are around is I got some very well detailed people on scooters. Okay. So I thought those were sharp. I can put those on my layout right away. I need some more bicyclists and some scooters. So a prizer set.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get some
So those are
people
cool.
on bikes, motorbikes. I don't know. I looked that group up.
Yeah, it's mentioned by Hamster Cow. Now, hamster cow sounds like they're buying hamsters, and the
Right.
German word for hamster is hamster, but it just means like like a rummage sale or
okay.
clearance sale. Well, clearance sale is an house for cow.
Like a boot sale or something. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's totally people are buying panic mode. It's like in America when they announce
It's gonna snow.
it's going to snow, and everybody buys 80 flats of 24 case water bottles because they might be snowed in for 2 days. But we got those. So again, these will look cool in my.
Josh, we said hi. Did you say hi to Josh Cannon?
No, I did not say hi to
Okay,
Josh
hi.
Cannon.
So basically Black Friday style.
Yeah, just really. Now, the last thing I bought is one of the weirdest things, but I think strategically placed, it will add a bit. Besides, they're flat, they fit in. But I've never seen these. They're Fowler HOTT, and they're called Fowler Premium, but it's just some red flowers, blooms,
Poppies.
natural blossoms. So just things I can,
There's plenty of poppies in Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can just pop them around on the layout, add some color from all the green, break up all that green. So, yeah, it claims there's 100 of them in here. No, there isn't.
Well, I think they're counting each of those little pieces. There might be over 100.
Well, there's definitely a couple levels of this.
Oh, there.
But
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know. Maybe there are. They're just smushed really flat in there.
Yeah. Should you thought they'd be easy to come. So.
But yeah, they'll be.
Yeah, flower clumps you can put in the grass.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I just never seen them before. I like the color, and
Yeah.
usually if I.
Karen.
Hey, Karen, Sir Karen. The thing is, I will buy something in every model train shop.
We sure try.
I visit something just okay. I try to buy something in every model train shop we visit. In fact, I do buy something there. No, Aaron, I will not. I do have a certain level I can buy up to, and I'm not going to. I won't be doing that. In fact, the one big thing I bought, I'm going to claim on my. I paid VAT taxes, and so I can claim that on my income tax for next year. I'm paying the value added tax, but no, I will not have to pay import fee up to like $800 or something like that.
Yeah, we can get a lot more.
So I can get a lot of stuff. And the problem is I need some of these stores to actually be open or I won't be able to buy anything. It's become frustrating.
Yeah, it really is. But there's more places to see.
Yeah, well, we still got Neumünster and there's some shops up in that area.
Yep.
It's just been kind of frustrating that I've wanted to visit all these model train shops and they're either closed or like today. I mean, oh yeah, we're on vacation and
the value added tax without any value, right? The value for us, that's for sure. That's probably not true, but
yeah, it's just the crazy ways they get you. But so yeah, and like I said, we had a great tour around the.
That's enough for Bruno.
No, it's not enough for a Druno. Although really, last year I came back with quite a bit, and I was itemizing out. He didn't even look at the list. He said, "How much did you spend?" And I said, "Like 800 or whatever." And he said, "Go through."
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a weird trip because the traveling by train has been hectic because
It is that way, yeah.
Yeah, the last couple of trips in Germany, trains have been a little bit more problematic than they usually are. But what's weird is it's always the train we're on is running late, but the train we're trying to connect to is on time. We've had one case where our train was late and the train we were going to connect to was late. And that's because there was a huge tourist group on our train that had to connect to that next train as well. And so they held that train so that they could get our group.
Hi, Three Spikes.
Hey, Sir Jeff, how are you?
Um, yeah, honestly, he'd be happy with even a middle size.
No, I'm just looking for any model train shops that might sell things I have. So now when I say American store, it doesn't mean American outlet. It just means over here in Europe, they are very clear. They're model train shops that have American stuff, or they are a shop that sells predominantly three rail and are called American stores, as well as American does have their own officially licensed outlet stores.
Right.
But yeah, we're just looking for anybody that is a listed American dealer.
You're looking forward to Kiel then?
I'm looking forward to Kiel, hoping I will find, there's a couple of shops in Kiel, and we'll do that. There's a small shop in Neumünster, but that's what I want to find one of these, some of these mom and pop model train shops. Like when we were in Salzburg, it was Oma and Opa's.
Right. Yeah.
Or in Vienna, the Bannert's toy store where they had an entire floor that was just model trains.
Right.
We're just not running into those shops. Or like when we're in Hamburg, there's the different model train shops that are in different sizes. One of them is a really good shop to go to.
Yeah.
And the other one is kind of more focused on Hamburg area stuff. And in a city like Hamburg, where the model train industry is very strong because of miniature wonderland such, you can be a shop that specializes in. We sell a lot of the regional S-Bahn models of the local Hamburg subway and trains and traffic. But we've seen a lot of cool trains because that's the other thing. We have posted, and I do want to take this time. It's almost going to be a rant. But yeah, we got some video, but I'm not going to the station. In fact, one day Joyce suggested we could go to the station. Why don't we just stand there for a couple hours and video? I was like, yeah, we could do that, but we just haven't been able to donate that much time to just say, let's go to the train station and film for an hour or so. Because number one, I'm not an avid rail fanner. I love to see the cool trains, but the problem is sometimes you're on a train and pulling out of the station, and by the time you get your phone out, click camera and click video, you've missed it. But we did catch some. It was the first time I've seen the blue striped Europa ICE3 live.
Yep.
Some of you, if you watch that video, actually, we tend to eat Italian food in Germany, although today I had a great mix. I had a schnitzel and a gorgonzola sauce. Oh my God, that was amazing. Somebody understood you put cheese with schnitzel. Now, I love a good Wiener schnitzel. It was still pork. It's very hard to find schnitzel made from cow because I was watching at the Schnitzel House in Heidelberg. Okay, here's a funny story to sidetrack myself from talking about filming the trains. No, I'll finish talking about filming the trains, but I posted a video just real quick. I put it together last night of just some of these random shots. We were standing in Ebersbach waiting for a train, and this high-speed thing went flying past. It's not stopping at Ebersbach, but we're on the platform in Ebersbach. And all of a sudden, I get this of blue cars, and I look at it, go, those are night jet cars. Right. A night jet came flying through. But it had like 3 night jet cars, 1 Austrian regular IC car, and then there were like 3 cars from one country and at least 2 or 3 cars from another, and there might have been a 4th. So it was clearly a multinational sleeping train, but it was going so fast, there's no way to go like, all of it looked Cyrillic alphabet going at that speed.
Right.
Just one big blur of letters.
Yeah.
It looked like Sanskrit at that stage. But we pulled into Ebersbach and there it is, or we pulled into Stuttgart and there it is. And so I got the camera out and I started filming again, trying to look, but of course it's several platforms away. There's people and signage. And I was hoping somebody might be able to look at that video and identify some of those cars briefly, because I didn't recognize them. One of them I thought at least one of them I thought might have been Hungarian. Another one I think might have been Polish, or a couple of them might have been Polish. Hungary, Poland, Austria, Stuttgart could make sense,
Right.
but they could have been Slovenian or Slovakian, although they really didn't have the colors of the Czech Republic or Slovakia. But it was really crazy. Hey, Sir Anthony Borden, hello.
And
They were in both directions, because Stuttgart is a terminus station, so the trains pull in one way and go the other.
Yeah.
Yep. So we saw Steuerwagen first and we saw Loco first. It's just which direction they're going,
nice,
which is what I've always said. But we just if we see something cool, I'm trying to catch it and share it. Not that they get a lot of views, but it's been very cool. Now to go on to the rant, which has nothing to do with anybody here, but maybe somebody in the background. I've gotten a couple of messages on Facebook from disgruntled people because I'm not watching their channel. Like, I posted this video and you didn't watch it. I posted this video, you didn't watch it. I posted this video. Here's a link to it. Watch my video. And the two people doing this have not commented on one of my videos in a year or more. Certainly haven't appeared in a live stream in a while. And if they were paying attention to my channel, we said we are off YouTube right now. When I'm at home, Joyce is at work, I have all day to watch as much YouTube as I want to watch. Even while I'm working on projects, I can watch YouTube. I can have one thing on the TV, one thing on my phone, or one thing on the computer, one thing, and I can keep up with all the channels. And it was a little upsetting to me because I try so hard to explain to people. Like I do like to comment. I watch your videos when I can, but I know Dino's put up at least one or two. Andrew's put up a couple. I can't get into Mark Dade's live stream. I can't watch the live streams I normally join in on. And so a lot of you are posting videos and I just scroll. Last night I had an hour or so and I just responded to comments on my videos because I don't like to not respond. So I spent an hour, hour and a half late last night just responding to all the comments and catching up with them. But it just was a little, it was a little aggravating that, somebody that doesn't even comment on my videos or doesn't come into the live streams is yelling at me that I'm not watching their video. Well, if you were on my channel, you would know. Now I politely said, hey, I'm in Germany. I can't, we get up in the morning, we're gone.
Yeah.
And we come back and we're so
we landed in Frankfurt. We will also take off in Frankfurt.
Yep, we land in Frankfurt. Well, it's, in one case, it's hard to be grumpy because the person has very needy issues.
On them, but
if you were reciprocating and watching my videos like I watch yours, you would know we're in Germany, don't have time to watch videos.
Yeah,
I'm subscribed to hundreds of channels that post videos. There are days where I look at how many videos are already posted and I'm like, wow, this is going to be long. And while I'm watching two, it's like, oh, somebody's just posted. And that's not even counting my friends that post 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 videos a day.
Right.
I've got some friends who do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I'm easily prone to feeling guilty because I support these people and I know in some of these cases they need that support. And sometimes I think people go, well, there's Dodge's standard, great job, lovely video, wonderful, that was great. And maybe it doesn't mean anything to people, but to me, it's
I'm supporting.
well, it's not, I'm doing it just to support, I'm doing it because that's how I feel.
Well, true, yeah.
It's,
You like it,
you're
yeah.
my friends and you're doing something,
Right.
and I'm not trying to be like, good job, that was a good job. But most people can do better work than I do. And I just happen to have a big space.
Is the Wartburg Castle part of the plan?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
The big thing we're doing, our biggest trip, because it's the scariest trip,
Right.
is tomorrow,
Right.
I think. We are going up to a place called the Kufhäuser. I think I talked about last week's live stream, but we're going up to a place called the Kufhäuser.
Jeff.
Well, it's just Jeff, it's the people that, are used to me commenting on every video, and then all of a sudden I'm not commenting. And most of I'm in Germany, I'm traveling, I'm on vacation, and I can't watch YouTube.
Right.
I suppose I could watch some videos while I'm on the train, but somebody that's traveling with me might find that rude. But we're going to a place called the Kufhäuser, and have fun trying to spell that, kids. No, it's Kyff. Y in German is a vowel only, and it's pronounced oo, like the letter U, Kuf, and then Häuser. And it's a series of hills and cliffs about 30 kilometers north of Erfurt here. Mm-hmm. And the Kufhäuser are legendary hills because this famous German emperor from the Middle Ages, Holy Roman Emperor, named Friedrich Barbarossa, Frederick the Redbeard, Barbarossa. Mm-hmm. The legends say he sleeps in those caves, and he will awaken when called. And of course, the Germans named their invasion of Russia during World War II Operation Barbarossa. Barbarossa is waking up and leading Germany to victory against its enemies again. Yeah, that didn't go so well. But anyhow, legend says that Barbarossa sleeps in the caves. Now, the fact is, obviously, he died 900 years ago.
Right.
Well, 800 years ago.
We're not expecting a.
But the thing is, at different times through Germanic history, and I use the word Germanic here correctly because the name Germany, although goes back to Latin era, where they just referred to this entire area north of the Roman Empire as Germania, which occasionally lumped in the Celts. Even before, because German in Latin means barbarian, foreigner. Don't you dare. But there was never an individual country called Germany until 1871. You had the Holy Roman Empire, and you had which was neither holy nor Roman, and it's debatable whether it was truly an empire. It was because it had an emperor, but the vast majority of nobles ignored the emperor anyhow. I need you nobles to do this. Whatever. But Barbarossa was a very powerful emperor, and was a beloved emperor in the Holy Roman Empire. But he actually died on the Third Crusade. See, when you talk about the Third Crusade, everybody thinks of Richard the Lionheart of England and Philip II of France and how they led the armies. They didn't lead the armies. Friedrich Barbarossa was in charge. Richard the Lionheart and Philip were taking orders from Barbarossa. The problem is Barbarossa died crossing into Syria from Turkey. He was an old man. He was near 70 years old. He was wearing a suit of armor. And depending on whose legend you believe, he either had a heart attack and fell into the river. He was killed and he was injured in battle, and his wounds took him. the only thing that is consistent is he drowned in this river on the border between Turkey and what was then called Syria. And his body was never, well, actually, his body was found. They recovered his body, but then his son continued marching into the Holy Land with his father's body, but his son and the vanguard of that army got attacked, and nobody knows what happened to Barbarossa's body. It's rotten in a cave somewhere in Syria, or the troops of Saladin found it and disposed of it or whatever, but it never made it back to Germany. So body never found. He's obviously sleeping in a cave. Anyhow, various times of the Germanic nationalist movement, when the Germans wanted a united country, you had, because Germany was divided between the Habsburg lands, the Kingdom of Bavaria, the Kingdom of the Palatinate or the Duchy of the Palatinate, the Duchy of Hanover, the Kingdom of Hanover, Brandenburg, Prussia, blah, 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 blah. You had, like, around the time of Napoleon, there were over 300 separate German states that were ruled by somebody of count or higher that were, quote, part of the empire. Each one had its own tax system, its own laws, blah, blah, blah. It was confusing. Some were like Bremen, just a city. Hamburg, just a city. Others were small little territories like the Duchy of Oldenburg, and so on. But the strive of nationalism, whenever there'd be a time we need to unite, like the 1839 social revolutions, the 1848 social revolutions in Europe, the Germanic people began, the legend of Barbarossa coming to the aid of the German people grew very big. So when Prussia did begin the process to unite Germany under actually it was under Frederick William IV, but then he got sick, went crazy, and had to abdicate, and his younger brother William took over. William I, who did become the German emperor. They had all kinds of crazy. They played on that propaganda because going into areas the Prussians weren't necessarily liked, especially in Western Germany and Southwestern Germany, the Prussians were disliked. They didn't trust them. They don't like them.
Hi, Happy Cat, and hi, Greg.
Hi, Happy Cat. And hello, Sir Greg from Midsummer Rail. So various groups played on that. So one of the things the Prussians did both before and after, as they captured and through marriage or force of a gun, added more territory to the Prussian kingdom before the unification of Germany. And even after the unification of Germany in 1871, the Prussians went on this huge propaganda wave to say Barbarossa has returned in the body of William the First of Prussia. Well, he was William the whatever Prussia, William the Fourth of Prussia, William the Sixth, whatever he was of Prussia, but William the First of Germany. Big campaign of redoing that, and so the Prussians built new monuments in the Kufhäuser. Now, I have taught this stuff to my level 4 students for years, and now that I'm this close, I want to go see it. We've talked about, I know it's stuff built in the 1880s, and it was a Prussian propaganda thing, but we've talked so much about it, and to see, but the legends that Barbarossa sleeps in the Kufhäuser goes back to the 13th century. The Prussians merely played on that by all sorts of propaganda stuff suggesting that William I was Frederick Barbarossa reincarnated. There's some great stuff in the town of Goslar that really does it. Yes.
Asked if you were. He said he's ordering the Linderhof Palace from Nook.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm not going to get the
from it. And
how far are we from Linderhof? About 4 hours by train. And no, I'm not going to get the Linderhof Palace. Anything I get is going to be very basic and plain because I'm building the cities of Delmenhorst and Bremen, so I won't have any really famous landmark buildings. The only thing is I will eventually repaint my
Tom, there's some similarities for sure.
Windmill. Um, well, yeah, but you can also say the Arthurian legend is based on the Sigurian legends and old Celtic legends and blah blah blah. All those legends, everybody has the king, the king that will rise again, and not to be too dismissive, but uh, these things there are these legends in Egyptian mythology, Sumerian mythology, Gilgamesh, um, who will come again someday, which is at least 3,000 years, if not 4,000 years older than the Arthurian legends, which
Yeah.
seem to date back to about the 4th and 5th century BC in France, and then were brought over by Celts and then revamped multiple times in the through Britain. And of course, the most famous being and the most comprehensive revamping is Mort d'Arthur, or T.H. White's The Once and Future King. But Mort d'Arthur goes back further. But yes, Prussia extended all the way to what is now that Russian protectorate area. I forget exactly the political term they call it, the little protectorate section where Kaliningrad was, because Kaliningrad was actually Königsgrad, Königsstadt, the city of the king. And that was the original capital of Prussia, which started as an outcropping of the Teutonic Knights, who then made a deal with the Kingdom of Poland and the Lithuanian Polish Commonwealth, depending on which was in existence at that time. And they made deals that it was kind of, as long as they paid some tribute to, it was their territory, and then over time, the Germanic expansion into the east took that area and pushed the Slavic people back out, because you had some ancient Celtic people there originally. Germanic tribes moved in, chased them out. Slavic people came in, pushed the Germans further west, and then the Germans pushed back and took the lands. And of course, that whole area has been a battleground between Germanic tribes and Slavic tribes for about 1,500 years.
That's cool, John.
Yes, an exclave is that's one term to use. That's not what oblast. That's what it's called, oblast, an oblast, an oblast.
Hmm.
It came to me. Hey, Raymond Lakes, how are you?
Hey.
Hey, John, you'll be in Poland in August. I would love to get into Poland, at least to the city of Zeszyn. Now, I've got too many places in Germany and Scandinavia I want to get to before I think of any other countries. And I still want to get back to the UK.
Mhm.
But so anyhow, I'm very big into this. The problem, to get back to the story of going to the Kufweiser, is it's easy to get to the closest town. It's one train. We go to the train station, we're on it. But once you get to that town, there is a special bus, but it only runs on demand. You have to call them and say, I want to go up there, and they'll wait till they have enough people and then say, okay, we've got 4 people, we'll take you up now. And then you have to call them when you're done, because they're not going to run the bus. They will not run empty buses. So this is scarier than, because now we're really nervous after that adventure on Hohenzollern Mountain, where a scheduled bus actually did not show up, because those buses are supposed to run. But this one, it specifically says, this does not run. You have to call them and say you are looking to go up there. But I figure if all else fails, we'll find a taxi and have them drive us up there, even if I have to pay 50 euros. Are are we going to Munich? No, Jean, you know our bid.
What about the Vikings and did the Romans? Yeah,
Well,
let's see.
the Vikings are Germans.
Yeah.
Okay, the Vikings were Germanic people. Now, guys, I used to teach this. Okay, I used to teach this both in my German classes, but also in history classes that I taught. The migration of the Germanic, well, the migrations of all the peoples into Europe, the modern peoples of Europe. So, yes, the Romans did at a time have a territory or a sliver of the area. Basically, the Romans controlled west of the Danube, or I'm sorry, south of the Danube and west of the Rhine. Anytime they venture across the Rhine, they tended to get their butts kicked, including the famous battle that we were talking about last week, Teutoburger Wald, which was the biggest Roman defeat on continental Europe since Hannibal kicked their butts at Cannae. But that's in Europe. Okay, the Russians had an even worse defeat. The Romans had an even worse defeat out in the Middle East at the Battle of Carrhae, where the Pyrrhus. What were his people? Not the Scythians. The Scythians wiped out a huge Roman army. So the Romans, did have a few massacres. Now, the one that
good for you, Josh.
The one that they have been uncovering down in southern Germany, more than likely did not involve the Germanic tribes, because clearly any major battle, because first of all, the Romans, the defeat at Teutoburger Wald was such an embarrassing defeat for them, they couldn't hide it. And they actually spent 80 years of historians doing everything they could to blame it all on Varus, because there's no way a bunch of barbarians could have beat the proud Roman imperial soldiers. Blaming it on Varus. Varus was an incompetent idiot. Actually, Varus was not a superstar general, but he was a very competent leader. It was just a well-planned trap by the Germans. Now, the Romans then claimed both in 14 and 15 AD and 34 and 35 AD that they invaded those territories and taught the Germanic tribes a lesson and, got revenge, which is pure Roman propaganda. Yes, they had some invasions and they probably burned a few villages, but there was no major pitched battle like the size of any of those, because while they would have had a couple of smaller battles and maybe fought some tribes, or tribes defended themselves as Romans came in to get revenge, the Romans brag very much about those two incursions into German territory after Teutoburger Wald. But the fact is, had they been as successful as they claimed they were, they would have held those territories, and they didn't. They never tried to establish beyond those rivers again. They built what was called the limes, the fortification system that circled from the Rhine River over to the Danube. They fortified it like what you see in Trier. They had colonial cities like Cologne, Trier, and several other cities, Augsburg.
Trier was really cool.
Trier was cool. Acting as both and they had fortifications all along that region that you can find. Bolpard on the Rhine River's one, and a few miles later. So the Romans heavily fortified that, but they never really tried to push in it. Now, in later days, the late Roman Empire, they were fighting the Huns in Germany. The Huns made it all the way into France until they were beaten by the Gothic German troops. Because if you hear the term Gothic, those were Germanic people. The Ostrogoths and the Visigoths, those were Germanic tribes. The Franks, when you hear about the Franks, those were Germanic tribes. Even though country France is named after them, they were Germanic tribes. But anyhow, that's why I hate when I watch TV shows and they have somebody that's a Merovingian and they have them speaking French. Oh, the Merovingians were the noble family of the Franks, and the Franks founded France. Yeah, but they spoke German up until about the 8th and 9th century, when the Franks in France started adopting Latin as a language under the influence of Charlemagne. And that little blend created the French language. Germanic language adapted, or Germanic accents and pronunciations adapted into the Latin language, and that kind of created a bizarre blend, which became the French language, just as certain Celtic dialects blended with Latin in Spain and created the Spanish language, all variations of Latin, but different because of the different ethnic groups. What's that?
Free history lesson.
Yeah, why not?
And you
Um,
could go for a very long time if you
well, I can't run
if you
trains, and
wanna
it's
know.
just going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is what I spent a lot of my life doing. Over a third of my life was just teaching German. Well, besides teaching German, was teaching German history, European history,
Mm,
and even in my English classes, I would teach a lot of this stuff to talk about the development of the English language. Um, and so when I was teaching Shakespeare to explain why Shakespearean English was different from Middle English, which is different than early modern English, and show the difference. And I used to do this little test with my students where I'd give them the same exact prayer, because religious text was one of the easiest things to find copies of. This prayer where I would show them one that was written in a language called English from 1100 AD, one of the earliest mentions of a language called English, which of course would have been called English. And it was the Angles, that Germanic tribe that lived on the coast of what is today the Netherlands, and even down into Belgium, and further up into even northwest Germany. The Angles, where Anglo-Saxon gets its name. But the Angles are the ones that were the first tribes to come over to the UK that weren't Celtic. And they that separation created a change in their Germanic language, and gradually it evolved into Old English, which then got influenced by French and Latin, especially after the Norman conquest, but also the Roman conquest before that of England, and all that stuff mixed in, and you get modern English. And then those guys came over here, or over here, went to North America,
right
and
here.
again,
Here.
distance creates accent
Mm.
variations. You know,
Languages are fluid, so there's always
languages are
changes.
fluid. Languages are fluid. They are not. You know, that's why I always hate phrases that say "speak proper English." What is proper English? Well, proper English is whatever the local group says. This is how you should talk. And of course, my favorite phrase is, "What's the matter? Don't you know the Queen's English?" Well, I would hope so. She should be. You don't want her to be French, do you? Of course, many of the kings of England were French, but
Right,
that's
yeah.
Richard the Lionheart again. But yeah, so it's just so being here gives me an opportunity to go see. And a lot of my trips to Germany have been to see things I taught for years, and I always felt a little bit, I don't want to say shamed, but a little bit like my students would ask, "Mr. Dodge, have you ever been there?" And early in my teacher career, it's like, "I've never been to Germany, guys. I've never been there. I haven't been to Germany." And when I got the head German teaching job at Bowser, there was another teacher that was pissed, because although I had a full degree in German and they had a associate degree in German, I had a full degree in German. She had traveled many times in Germany, and when she found out I had not been to Germany, she threw a crap fit that she didn't get the job and I did. Thankfully, within a year, I was offered the exchange program, and like, "Honey, we're going to Germany."
That's right. That was part of your reasoning too. I had
Yeah, well, I watch a lot of.
to be there.
I was watching a TikTok video that popped up on Facebook from a young girl that was explaining funny sound. A young American girl who has studied German and has traveled in Germany. Basically a trust fund kid that holidays in Europe.
She was German.
No, no, she was an American girl talking about things she learned in German, and her pronunciation was awful. And even half the things she was saying, I was disagreeing with. And I start reading the comments, and all the Germans like, "I'm German. We don't say it like that, and we don't use it that way." Just somebody who thought they were clever. "These are things I've learned." Well, apparently you didn't learn them. You thought you learned them, but you didn't. Uh, and it's funny and it's crazy at the same time. But um, yeah, I grew up reading German history and progressing and teaching it for all these years. It's just now given me a chance to get there. And then the accidental thing, which was coming to Germany, I fell in love with trains and got me into the train hobby.
Which is why you're here listening to this.
which is why you're here listening to this. If I hadn't traveled on so many German trains and bought an ICE-3 because I wanted a model of a German train I'd ridden on, you guys wouldn't be suffering now. It's your own fault. You shut up. You know, the backwards button is in your upper left-hand corner of your browser, or swipe left on your phone, you know. But no, so it's a passion of mine. It's an
We lost a few people.
did I actually we're at 38 right now.
39.
It says 39, that says 38. This one says 73. No.
We'll go with the one we like. I have to do my Daisy. Hey y'all, if you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button.
Oh, Ms. Coffee.
Man, wasn't King Arthur Celtic?
Yes, French, Celtic.
Take it easy.
All right, hi, take care. Great to have you here. He started as King Arthur started as a French Celtic language. You have to understand the Celts actually started in what is today Germany. Well, actually, they migrated in over years, but for many centuries, they lived in what is today Germany and eastern France. And then the Germanic tribes migrated in about 800 BC, and they and the Celts did not see eye to eye in the fact that the Celts said, we're living here. And the Germans said, no, you misunderstand. We live here now. And the Celts moved. They moved to Western France. And the Germans moved into Eastern France.
Hey, Mark.
And the Celts decided, we don't like these Germans. And they got on boats and sailed over to the British Isles. And you have all these different tribes of Celts. You know, the Picts were Celts. And just to help you with this, the ancient Roman word for where the Celts lived and for the Celtic people was Gaul, right? Gaul. Well, where do you think the word Gaelic comes from for the Welsh Gaelic, Irish Gaelic, Scottish Gaelic? Gaelic, the language of the Gauls. Plus the Celtic area, the one Celtic area that is still in France, Breton, or Brittany, as you say it in English, which of course is where the British Isles get their name, Brittany, because the Brits were another Celtic tribe that went over, but some of them stayed in France. But yes, it was a Celtic language that passed into the French language, and then somewhere along the line, that same legend was probably carried over into France. And so we can trace it back to about the 5th or 6th century, and then the Arthurian legends show up around the 12th century. But there are so many possibilities. Some say there was a king called Arturix, or a Gaulish chieftain named Arturix in the 4th and 5th century in France, or Arcturus, you know, there are variations of that. And yeah, they might all be some sort of influence, but of course the myths got built up by every storyteller adds some, like, here's an idea. What if we had this happen? For example, in the original myths, there's Lancelot, Gawain, and Galahad. But originally, I forget which one. Galahad and Lancelot were the same guy. And I just forget whether it was Lancelot and there was no Galahad, or it was this Galahad and no Lancelot. Well, you'll notice many of the Arthurian knights have French names. Gawain.
Hi, Simon.
Hey, Sir Simon. Great to have you here. And did the Penguins This Suck sketch? Yes, there's that too. But of course, we all know the famous Hadrian's Wall was not where the Romans said this is it. It was like, we need to keep those Scots out. The Romans didn't do well with the Scots up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I've always loved history. The funny thing is, as much as I loved history, that's why I didn't teach. I taught history at times, but I love studying it so much, and I do love teaching it, but English came first and then German, and so I rarely taught history. Um, but I enjoyed teaching English. I had a lot of fun teaching English, and then of course when I took German, my whole world. When I started teaching German, it changed my world. It got me out of a bad school,
Yep.
a tough school. Um,
That
I love
situation,
teaching there, but
that
that situation
situation is a
wasn't the
tough school.
students. It was
Yeah,
it was a
yeah.
sort of a political thing. I
Mhm.
I got caught up in the middle of a war between
Yeah.
some teachers, and I was in the
Mhm.
middle,
Yeah.
and
Walked kinda into it.
yeah, walked stupidly into it, not knowing what was going on.
No,
Actually, I kind of
you
knew what was going. Well, I didn't know what was going on when I got
you
in.
didn't, no.
I was hired as a basketball coach. I taught at that school, but after 2 years, somebody came up and said, or somebody said, "Hey, Anthony, didn't you used to coach basketball at this school? Yeah, and you had a lot of success there. Yeah, but I kind of lost the passion of my sister had died, and I had lost the passion of coaching. Said, well, we're trying to start up our
Anthony answered that question.
which question?
He's asked 3 times now, is Anthony.
Yeah, hey, Anthony Borden, you've asked and I've answered.
Just
He was
rewind.
French Celtic. French Celtic. I know it's you think Celtic means the UK and Ireland, but no, Celts are also French. I hope that answer got to you there. I just did 20 minutes on it. Weather is seriously getting better over here, Southwest Germany. Well, where are you in Southwest Germany? Are you by Freiburg or did you follow us into Stuttgart? Because there's a lot of things in Southwest Germany.
Mm.
Um, but anyhow, I was coaching basketball and I got talked into helping start up. They had a girls varsity team, but they hadn't had a first year team in a while. So I took over the first year. I started a first year team, and things are going very well. But really, I found out they hired me only because they intended to fire the head coach,
Right.
and they were hoping me being an outsider, I didn't have feelings.
None. He's in Freiburg, by the way.
Freiburg, we love Freiburg.
Mm.
Loved Freiburg.
Yeah.
Wonderful week we had in Freiburg a couple of years ago.
Time then.
2023, Freiburg.
Should go hiking.
Just don't let Joyce be your hiking guide. Should we head this way now? Nah, let's keep going that way.
And civilization.
We eventually we ended up on the other side of the mountain, but yes,
It's a good walk.
it was a good walk. A tiring one getting back.
Found where the rich people of Freiburg live.
Indeed.
Yep.
The very rich, big estates. But yeah, I got hired as a basketball coach and I was doing very well. And their whole goal was that the head coach of the advanced team was a boat rocker. She's demanding equal rights for a girls team, and this school was very famous for the success of its boys team. And they just ignored the girls team. Boys got new uniforms every year. Girls got new uniforms every 5 years. Boys were allowed to practice in the main gym all week except for a 2 hour. So I immediately noticed the unfairness of this. Like, I need to practice full court drills. You can't have me doing that in a half court practice gym. I need to be on that main. I'm like, oh yeah, the girls team gets the big gym every Tuesday from 3 to 5, and that's varsity, JV, and first years.
Yeah.
And it was insane. So I very quickly became on the side of that coach. Well, long story, something came up and they fired her, and I supported her. And all of a sudden, I was persona non grata at that school.
Oh, he sure was.
Friends stopped talking to me.
Yeah.
And I refused to take the head coaching job.
Yeah.
I refused to take that coaching job. And I was undefeated in our league. I was undefeated in it and had whipped a team into shape out of nothing. And I was getting the vibe to, yeah, I love coaching again. And they came up on Monday and offered me the head coaching job, and I said no. I said I will not stab her in the back, and what you're doing is wrong. And I practiced with my team. I had a game scheduled. I showed up at the game, and I was kicked off the court.
Yep.
I was like, I haven't been suspended. You'll get your notice in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that was ugly.
It was ugly.
Yeah, very.
And so I went out of that school in German. I put in a transfer notice, and I was ready to quit teaching and leave Toledo Public Schools at the time. I was so mad. And fortunately, they said, hey, there's a German position open at. Sure. You mean walk to work 3 minutes, teach my
Yeah.
kids? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I wound up at Bowser.
And it worked out very well for you.
And then that first year I taught at Bowser, hey, would you like to start an exchange program to Germany? Why, yes. Yes, I would.
Eva went to the Mole House.
Yeah, I went to Mulhouse today for the train museum. Didn't make that, but when we were in Freiburg, we weren't thinking train museums. We still don't really think train museums. When I'm traveling in Germany, I'm thinking history and castles.
Eva, you take care. I'll pack a seat and go to bed.
Yep, we've got to kind of plan out our trip tomorrow. I already know what train, it's just more what time we're going to go
Right.
and how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
Has our grandson shown up yet? Is our grandson back there? Lynn, Kyan, are you in the background listening? But yeah, we just but when I travel Germany, as much as I'm into model trains, I'm not thinking trains and the train world. And I just it's not in me to want to learn the train history. I enjoy what I enjoy, but I don't feel the pressure to have to learn what every class is and what everything is and what they used to be. And I
Oh,
certainly
she responded there. Kyan would like to say hello just because you called for him. Okay.
Oh, I don't have to
just
change
text her.
anything. All right,
Okay.
plug your ears.
Well,
Those of you
no,
in the
we can't
background.
be loud.
Right, we can't be loud.
No, so you don't have to plug yours.
One, three people just left. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3. Kyan! Hi, Kyan! We love you! Opa loves you! I did buy you one Star Wars toy, but you'll have to wait till we get home to see what it is.
Yep.
And we'll probably find more. And Lynn, you and Chris and AJ and Val and Elizabeth all need to let us know what things you want, whether it's certain candies or whatever else.
Yeah, what would you like us to bring you back? We should put that on the family.
Yeah, we'll put that in. We'll keep that. You do it. You
Fine,
just,
I will.
you specialize in nagging. You can do it. Well then. So, you prefer history over math. Well, that was my problem. I was good at all subjects, but I just I leaned academically.
Yeah.
The one thing I never got into, although I tried my best, was tech. I was from a, 70s family where TRS-80 computers were more than a month's of my dad's salary. And when I remember when I went to high school, which began for which begins for us Americans in ninth grade. We have kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, up to ninth grade. Ninth, 10th, 11th, and 12th is high school. Ninth grade is called freshman. 10th is sophomore. 11th is junior. And 12th is senior. I went to a Jesuit high school, and half the kids there were computer literate, or their families had computers. And my family didn't even have a freaking typewriter. I Once I started dating her in college, I'd go over to her house every night because I had papers to type. So a lot of our dates were, hi, let's go to dinner. Quick, dinner. Okay. Now I'm gonna go home and type this paper while you sit and talk to me. Okay, there's a 14-page essay on the comparison of Shakespeare versus John Locke, whatever. And but yeah, the tech. So many of you guys are engineers, and I have a basic level, but
It's going well, Simon.
I was always strong in math, but I didn't take it. I took engineering calculus in college, and the only really bad grade I ever got in school. Now I was a top mark student all the way through high school, but when I got in college, there were certain classes you had to take, and at my first university second university I went to, um, my counselor, who would not be my counselor after this air, said, "Well, you need a math course." And I was like, "Well, I had calculus in high school, so I'll take a basic, give me another calculus course. I don't need to go higher than calculus at this stage." So he signed me up for calculus one, but it was calculus one 163. What the idiot didn't seem to understand is you had to have calculus 161 and 162 before you took 163. But I got admitted because I was new student to the college. They put me in the class. And I went in and felt like, okay, I think I know this stuff, but there's some stuff here I didn't get taught in high school. And I was holding a B minus, but I had to have a math elective. I could have dropped the course and then some other time, but it would have delayed so many things. I was like, well, I'm passing it. So if I don't get the top mark, okay. I finished with a D. And I bombed the final exam. I was just lost. And the dean of the College of Engineering was teaching this class, and he called me in after I had bombed two tests in a row. And he wrote a very nasty comment on my test, one of my exams, and said, "A little knowledge is a dangerous thing," because I was using two of these formulas over and over again, thinking that's what test is about. Well, no, you only used it here or here, and then everywhere else it was just total chaos. But I was completely lost. And he says, "I don't know what makes you want to be an engineering major, but give up that idea. You are not going to be an engineer. You don't have it in you." And then he looked at me and says, "By the way, I don't recall having you in 161 or 162, and I teach these classes because I weed people out. And I don't recognize you." I said, "No, I'm new at this college." "Well, did you take engineering before?" "In high school." Or not engineering, did you take calculus? Did you take calculus? He says, "No. Have you had calculus before?" I said, "Well, I had high school calculus, and I was hoping this would be." He says, "So wait a minute, you didn't have this level calculus and this level calculus?" "No." And in that answer, you could watch his brain go from "you're a complete moron" to "oh, you managed to pass my class without having the first two levels," to "you're not stupid." To, "well, you really need," he went from wanting to kick me out of the college to saying, "Well, you really need to go back to 161 and 162. So I always think, had I wanted to be
an engineer,
mathematical engineer or some level of engineer, I probably would have done it, but that wasn't my interest. My interest was always language, and that's where that all went.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Lee.
John kissing ass again. It's amazing what poor Joyce has had to put up with. But yeah, we just had
Hi, Stormy Steve.
My inklings never went to the mathematic realm. I do well with math. I still do algebra and even some calculus stuff when I see it, but I just never had that inkling for engineering or going into that kind of tech. I mean, just partly because I was so far behind in high school, that where some guys were, and they had computer tech courses at my high school in the late 70s, early 80s. And all the nerds whose dads worked in the industry were taking those courses. And it was just like, I felt behind. I helped my friend build a couple of computers, my friend Rob Sturgill, but I was, I was more basic electrical, because my dad was an electrician. My dad my dad wanted me to be a professional American football player, but
Yeah.
had I gone into construction or something like that, or had I gone to a doctor, my dad wanted me to be a rich football player or rich something else. And when I announced I wanted to be a writer, my dad was so disgusted with me. Let's hear it for
Mean
encouragement.
artist, yeah.
Yeah. And then when I decided to become a teacher, which was originally only going to be a job until my first book sold 40 years later. Um, my dad was angry again that all those brains and all that college and everything else, and you're going to be a stupid teacher. Oh, I'm going to be a smart teacher, really. Just like I'm a smart ass, unlike you, who's a dumbass. But yeah. So it just,
Arguments stay in the past.
yeah, yeah. The past history. We're talking history, bingo. So now it comes back. Set yourself up for that one, kid.
I guess so.
But yeah. So tomorrow is the big trip up to Kufhäuser because I just want to get it over with. Once I'm done with Kufhäuser and I make it back alive and here tomorrow afternoon or evening, everything else on this trip is relaxed. But getting to Hohenstaufen Hill was a bit of a challenge. Getting to Hohenzollern turned into a bit of a crazy. A couple of the
Sure did.
we did one where we had to catch 3 different trains and had like 2 minutes between one of them.
Yeah.
Uh,
We did that a couple times.
After this, it's real easy. We're going to go to the town. We're gonna go to Eisenach and Wartburg Castle, which is about 30 minutes that way on one train. We're going to go to Weimar, which is 22 minutes that way by train. And then we're going to go to Sonnenberg, which is 45 minutes by train that way. And in Sonnenberg is the Pico model train factory and the Pico shop. And then somewhere in there, we're going to go visit a frickin' Märklin store on the north end of town and hope the guys back. Like, I have decided to extend my vacation 3 more days, you son of a. And then we do have a couple of other things we might do. I mean, we're not far from the town of Jena, where Napoleon fought one of his great masterpiece battles.
Where will we be next Friday?
Next Friday, we will be broadcasting from Neumünster.
Okay.
Good morning to those of you rising early in Australia and New Zealand. All our friends, Kiwi Dave in the background. But yeah, we will easy train rides.
Yeah, right. Easy trips. Yeah.
Easy trips. There's we got several other little things that we could do. There's other towns we could go visit. But I do want to see Wartburg Castle. And if you don't know why Wartburg Castle is important, because that is where Martin Luther wrote the that was Wittenberg, which unless we take an ICE would not be easy to get to.
Gotcha.
Wartburg is where, after he basically had a death sentence from the Holy Roman Emperor, he hid in the tower disguised as a monk by the Duke of Thuringen here.
Right.
And actually it was the Duke of Saxony who arranged with his friend, because part of this area was part of Saxony at the time. And he hid told the people in the castle that he was a monk with leprosy or whatever. And he hid up in the tower and he wrote the New Testament. Some people say he translated the Bible. Actually, it was just the New Testament, which the Gospels that he translated into German, which is the first time it was not in one of the classical languages. That wasn't in Greek or Latin. That, the Bible should be in the hands of the people. And I have no opinion on Luther. Like all people in history, he did what he did. He did a lot of bad things. He did some things that were good. But there's a lot of little things in this area. There's a lot of places in this area that call themselves Lutherstadt, including Eisenach, Wittenberg. A lot of other towns call themselves Lutherstadt. they get the official title, just like certain cities like Hamburg. If you ever look up Hamburg on German license plates and that, it's HH, Hanseatic Stadt, Hansestadt Hamburg, because it was part of the Hansa. Hansestadt Bremen, HB, Hansestadt Bremen, Hansestadt Lübeck, HL, or LUB on the license plates. But they'll call them because they were members of the Hansa, and they're very proud of that history because the Hanseatic League, as we say in English, was quite powerful.
One has pointed out time differences.
Yes, it's I forget if it's at this stage, is it 16 or 14? Kiwi David's 8:30, here it's 6:30. So, and here it's 9:30. No, it's 10:30.
Yeah, it's 10:30.
So it would be 6:30 in the morning, 10:30 at night. So
Yeah, but
carry the
you're-
3,
but
minus
you're not-
7.
Yeah,
Convert to
take away
Celsius.
6 to get you back into the Eastern time zone. And then, is it 14?
Now, why go back 6 to go forward?
Yeah, I know. But it's not the normal way we figure.
Right. She's 9 hours ahead of where we are. Oh, 8 hours ahead, 6:30. She's 8 hours ahead of where we are now, and so it's 14 hours from Toledo.
Okay.
But it's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully I would like to have more trains and cool trains. Definitely, well, no. No, I will. I'll have a very special.
That's right.
I'm hoping because next week is the 19th, and in Neumünster we haven't talked to him yet. In fact, I haven't talked to him in over a week, but we may have a special guest on our live stream next week.
That's right.
We may. I haven't arranged to see if it's
Yeah,
going to happen yet, but we may have a special guest on our live stream. And if we do have that special guest, I'm going to have some special toys for next week's live stream.
Right.
What kind of special toys? The kind that means your kids can't watch. No,
14 hours from Toledo sounds like a song. Rulem Blue is here.
hey, KJ, Sir KJ. We need a bonsoir TTRE. But yeah.
Cuckoo.
So I've tried to post a couple little snippets. I did even post I made a post telling people, guys, I'm sorry I can't catch your videos, hoping some of these people read it because I just had that, why aren't you watching my videos? Here's the link, you're missing my videos. And I'm like, dude, I can't watch videos right now. I love watching everybody's videos. I just can't do it right now. You can be off camera, but we can still hear you. And now, a lady with 3 noses. Yeah, I just posted some random photos. Joyce took like that one of the flower. I don't know why. That was just such a cool photo that Joyce took. And there are so many photos. I mean, we put a bunch up on Facebook, which are for friends and family, but anybody can go look there. I haven't posted today's videos. I don't know if I'll get those tonight or not. What am I looking for? Okay, my shopping list in Germany, really I'm looking for, I'm looking, the biggest thing I'm looking for right now, as far as works and runs, I'm looking for a Lufthansa Express, a Märklin Lufthansa Express. I really want that one. I'm also looking for a Class 186 locomotive. just another freighter. And then I'm looking for certain coaches. I'm looking for the Miracle Flicks train coach set. That was an MHI exclusive a couple of years ago. So those are the primary things, but I'm also just leaving myself open that if I see something really cool to buy. For example, when we were in Stuttgart, no, not Stuttgart, the town of Kirchheim, and I think we told the story last week. We're in the town of Kirchheim. We visited this lovely little model train shop, and the guy had some stuff, and he had a class 442, because that's another thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for a Pico AC class 442 to replace mine that died because it can't be repaired. But they had the class 442 in the Baden-Württemberg Bewegt livery, and he had it at a very fair price. And Joyce said, well, just get it. Go ahead and get it. And I was like, yeah, but to be honest, I can get it cheaper from a shop in America still. I could order it today and have it from AJC Kids, as we were talking last week. And that's the thing. There are some
Hey,
things.
Josh, you take care.
All right, Josh, take care.
Look at your show.
Yeah. Best wishes for you at the show. Have fun. Hopefully you find some cool stuff. We have, but there are some locals that if I can find them here at a better price than what I would pay from one of the American shops, I will buy them. It could be a class 66. Won't mind a class 66. If I can find some of the regional things, like if I could find a Deutsche Bahn class 425 car set, because we've ridden a lot of 425s this year.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of
That's
them
about
too.
all we saw when we were.
Well, no, we saw the 442s a lot. It was the 442s, and then this new one. They're like E 8.5 or E 5.1. They all kind of look the same. They look a little bit like the 442s, but it's this company or the train company that's running them is Avario.
Yeah,
Wasn't it Avario
I think so.
that was running them all in the Stuttgart area, because it's a different company in the
Right.
Stuttgart area.
Right.
To be honest, I'm also looking for an what is it, an E410 and an E44, if I can find old cheap ones of those. But then the other thing I'm looking at is if I can get into a shop that's got some of the certain decoders, especially a few more of the 6906s, if I can, pick them up cheaper here. I could order 3 or 4 of them from Lipa and have them delivered to my place in Neumünster, have them delivered there if I time the order right. But yeah, I'm looking for an an E410, and maybe even the other thing, because I almost bought it. I could have bought it. Joyce would have said, get it. They had the tin plate. The same guy had the tin plate blue and cream Rheingold, but you can get the older set, not the new special memorial set, but you can get the older set for cheaper when you see it. I tried to buy it on eBay a couple of weeks ago, and I got out, or a couple of weeks ago, a month ago, and I got outbid at the last second. But I had bid about 150, and I think it went for 165, but that was the loco and 4 cars. So I don't want to pay 300 and something for the loco and 280 euros for the cars, which would come out to about 600 American dollars or more, when I can probably get the older set for $200 to $300. So that's why I'm trying to find one of these mom and pop shops that has a nice used section.
Oh, okay, Monsville. Just the end of the day.
Yeah, it's end of the day. It's bedtime here. We've had a good day. We had a great we did our tour of the city, and we walked and we walk.
Yeah.
Although we did take a tram up to the Merklin shop, because that would have been an hour-long walk, and
We took
I
the
draw the line at about 40
same
minutes.
tram back to
And we took it
the
back
middle
into
of
the
the city.
Altstadt, and then actually we took a different tram and we wound up on
That's
the
true, it was a
far
different tram.
outside of the Altstadt, and then we just walked all the way through it so that we
Yeah.
could, ta-da, look, there's the cathedral.
Yep.
And then the fortress, the Citadel, as they called it, the Citadella Petersburg, which was a castle that
There's a lot of
overlooked Erfurt.
Stuff up there.
Yeah, it was a castle that
You couldn't see very much from the city.
but there was once a castle up there, but then the castle got destroyed during the 30 Years' War, and then they built a more modern fortress up there, a Vauban fortress. And then that got expanded by the Prussians into a more modern caserna and citadel fortress, and that's what's up there. There's very little of the original castle there, but it's an impressive field of fortifications, which was a nice comparison to the fortress on Königstein outside of Dresden, and Aaron Breitstein in Koblenz, which was another castle that got converted into a more, 19th century
Yeah,
modern fortress.
modern. Yeah,
Yeah, modern in that regard, Franco-Prussian War sort of fortress. It's very impressive, but yeah, it was cool to see it all.
Yeah, lots of steps. Lots of steps. Um,
How many million steps?
we had a
Oh my
couple
God.
days in the 20s. When we were in Ebersbach and we're going to all those different castles, our floors were in the 30s a couple times.
Yeah, our flight, if you do that.
Flights of stairs, climbing up the stairs or going up the path.
We lived on top on the side of a hill in Ebersbach, so going to the station, we always had to go down and then come back up.
That was 3 floors on my watch.
That was 3 floors. Boy, it definitely should be more than
I
that.
felt like it was more than that too, but
Definitely more than 3 floors
3.
walking up. I've walked up 3 flights of stairs before, 3 floors. That's more than that. Nice steep incline too. I'm sure we're at least 60 feet
I
over.
like hills and climbing, all that kind of stuff, but it was kind of nice to be flat here.
We're flatlanders, okay? Where we're from in Toledo, it's flat.
Yes, we are.
So hiking in hills, we enjoy it, but there comes a point where our legs are like, this is not what we're used to. What is with these hills?
We went up a lot of steps today.
So when we walked around Stuttgart, it was gentle hills the last couple of days in Stuttgart area. Yeah. And then here yesterday there were no hills.
No hills.
And then today it was like, oh, you want to go up to the cathedral?
Cathedral, because the cathedral's at the top.
The cathedral's on top, and then the fortress was above that.
Right.
So another
13 floors today.
Yeah, we did 13 floors. So up and down.
For a fairly flat location.
But there's plenty of hills around here. You're going to find out tomorrow.
Erdo, we just stay busy because it makes me happy.
It is tiring.
All things considered, it really wasn't that big a day today.
The nice thing is we walk, and so we walk a lot of distance, but it's at a leisurely pace. We're not running, we're not bustling. Right. We sit and admire a view for 5 minutes if one of us gets tired. My back is still not happy. It's going to have to be heavily looked at when I get back. I'm walking slower. But
we do keep a pace that is hard to keep up.
I don't know. We're getting passed by a few people that maybe wouldn't pass us in our heyday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just the people we tend to walk with tend to be slower than us. Mm-hmm. But yeah, tomorrow we're going up north, the last big hill. We're going up to the Kofhäuser. That's tomorrow. And then over the next few days, we're going to go to Weimar, which is where Germany after World War I was called the Weimar Republic. But it's supposedly a very pretty town. So pop in and look around Weimar, and there are other little places around Weimar. We're going to go to the Wartburg Castle and the town of Eisenach here. And then there's just and depending on how time and everything else, there are several other famous places around here, historical places we can go to. Like I said, there's the battlefield Jaina, where
Napoleon.
Napoleon beat the Austrian army. And there is other things that go along with Luther's life in this region. And then, yeah, there's the Pico factory, and we're going to go see PIKO, the German Pico, this mass producer of model trains and that in this area. So we're going to go down and see that, and see if I can maybe find a 442 to replace my dead one that I can't get repaired. And I'm still wanting to find some shops. And in Weimar, there's a couple of Märklin shops. In Eisenach, there's a couple of Märklin shops, and there's a couple of small towns around here that have Märklin shops. They're all within a half an hour train ride.
Right.
So we're going to do that, and then when we're done here, we leave here on Thursday morning. So it'll be very similar to this, where next week will be our first full day in Neumünster. We arrive at Neumünster about 2 p.m. on the 18th. We leave here in the morning. It's about a 5-hour train ride. We arrive at Neumünster. And then that's the 18th. And then the 19th, we're going to Miniature Wonderland. So we'll be reporting back from Miniature Wonderland. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be reporting back from Miniature Wonderland.
Okay. That's on the 19th.
That's on the 19th. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Miniature Wonderland on the 19th. Wrong one.
This is before you go to a shop. Phone them first. Are you open? Yeah.
Hi, are you open? If somebody answers the phone, are you open? No, this is answering machine.
Found a Stein and a secondhand shop this week from Heidelberg. That's nice.
I bought my beer glass from Heidelberg. Have not found a beer glass here in, there you go, Friday, June 19th, Miniature Wonderland.
Yeah, okay.
And then, and if we can, we get down to Delmenhorst.
Right.
But if we decide we want to go looking at train shops after Miniature Wonderland, then we may not get down to Delmenhorst.
Oh, but we have to get down to Delmenhorst. We have to get pictures. We do that on Tuesday, huh?
Yeah, we could do that on Saturday. Again, these are not definitive days.
Yeah, right.
But anyhow, so so next week we will have just visited Miniature Wonderland for the 8th time. Yes. And we will have seen
There's always something new.
Always something new. That's the best thing. It never gets old.
I try to watch the
Pico Express.
I try to watch the updates. Meanwhile, I'll put on Sundays, but I was still surprised last time I didn't expect a few things. Like I didn't know they did the water there at the bottom.
Right. That was well, they had done that. We had seen that in 2023.
Well, it was a surprise to me.
Because last year we saw it with Artie.
It's cool, Mom. Yeah, you should, Simon. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, Heidelberg is.
Anybody who's in this live feed, I highly recommend it.
The thing is, you don't even have to be into model trains to get your mind blown by Miniature Wonderland.
We saw that we were not into model
for several times
at all.
For several times, it's such a cool place.
Yeah, it is cool.
And the funny thing is, it never sparked me wanting to get into model trains. It
was just fun, and we took a bunch of teenagers in there.
We took American teenagers.
They weren't real sure about it until they started finding all the naughty scenes in there, and then it was outstanding.
Yeah, they when they walked in, why are we going to a model train thing? And it's like just the Germans were telling us just.
Yeah.
See, and this is in its early days. It had only been open 3 years the first time we saw it.
Pretty young. Yeah.
It grew, but my kids walked around. It was already huge, but my students walked around and they were just blown away.
Pico. Oh, I see what you're saying. When you're searching.
Yeah. Well, because what was it? Rocco was or Pico was Rova, ROWA at one time, or they took them over. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then Neumünster is just we're hoping to hook up with Jean Ricard and spend a day in
Sure.
Flensburg and see a couple of things.
Yeah, you couldn't get your husband to leave. Yeah, and he's not into trains.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, you don't have to
our
at all.
late friend Heinz Groten,
Yeah,
um, we took him to Miniature Wonderland. He hit the airport and went nowhere else.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he went back. He went back if you after the first time seeing it with us, he went back.
You know, living in Delmenhorst.
I'd get little messages. Anthony went to Miniature Wonderland today.
Yeah,
Cool. He just loved the airport.
he did.
Like when he went there with us to see what all the big fuss was, he was like, "Oh, this is very cool. Yes, I wish I had come here
Yeah,
years earlier."
younger.
But yeah, he hit the airport and he said, "You guys go on ahead and I'll catch up." And we came back and found him still at the airport. He says, "This is amazing."
Yeah. Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if you said they bought Saxon Modella. That's just Saxon Modella went down and they just bought the rights to it, from what I understand. When I came across Saxon Modella models, but I guess in a way you can say they bought it. But there's one thing where the company's operating and you buy it, or the company goes out of belly up and you just buy their stocks, or like what Rocco did with Hobby Trade. Rocco didn't buy Hobby Trade. Hobby Trade's still out there, but their model train production, the rolling stock and locomotive production, they ended, and Rocco bought that stock and released it, and they release it in the boxes. It says Hobby Trade by Rocco. But I happened to get a set of the Regio bond, double decker Regio bonds, and they're gorgeous. I haven't run them in the lab for a while, so maybe when I get back.
Does take off from the airport.
Oh, the Millennium Falcon, Mothra.
Yeah, and Mimula does have some adult scenes. I mean, nothing, that our kids couldn't handle.
I got to correct you on one thing. It's not some, it's a lot.
Well, yeah. But I mean, like at that time, one that was big was, and it's still there. You have a couple making love in a farm field,
Sunflower field.
sunflower field. Oh, where's the one where he's tilling the?
Yeah, he's got a thrasher and he's reaping the sunflower. And originally they had it there on the blanket in the middle of the sunflowers, making love, and the thrasher's coming toward thresher, not thrasher. The thresher's coming towards them. Now they've actually moved it. They moved that section and turned it a bit, but the thresher is also going. It's no longer aimed at them. I guess they decided that was too brutal or scary a scene.
But our kids just ate it up.
Oh, they loved it. Oh,
so then they were on a hunt from that point on.
There are hundreds of dirty scenes. I mean, I just remember the very first ones, like the couple making love in Thresher.
Yeah.
You had the people near the Bismarck statue filming a porno with the group of nuns coming around the corner.
Right.
And then you have the guy sitting on a park bench with his hat on his lap and a smile on his face. We all know what's going on there. Not to mention all the scenes in the various office buildings and that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they
hotels and so on. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot going
all the office ones.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey, Andy 81. Oh, we're enjoying it. We've had some stressful moments, but overall, we've seen a lot of cool things. The biggest thing is I've been riding sort of like emotional roller coasters because sometimes my back gets to me and I get going, oh, and I'm marching and my feet hurt, the cobblestone, and just rides right up my back. But also, we have some amazing things, and then something crazy happens, and you're just that emotional come down. Like
for sure, Mon.
as we were talking about earlier, we went up and saw Hohenzollern Castle, and the views up there were amazing. We walked out of that castle and down to the bus stop. We were just giddy. We were having a good time, laughing, talking. It was a beautiful castle, a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the hike and everything. And then got caught in a rainstorm at a bus stop for a bus that never came. And by the time we finally got back to our apartment in Ebersbach, the mood was just
say all of our laundry.
Yeah, all the clothes we put out, our laundry was wet because we got back a little later and blah blah blah. But it's just little stuff that you poo-poo. Um, but again, that's any vacation you have.
Oh, for sure.
The weather has not been the most cooperative, but again, we've seen so many things. But like you go to the Altstadt here in Erfurt, it's beautiful, but it looks so different in the sunshine than it does in the gray clouds.
Right, we had a very brief window of sunshine.
Yeah, and we got
Otherwise,
some good
it's all
pictures.
clouds.
Yeah, we got some
Pictures,
good
all
pictures of the
clouds.
Rathaus and some of the old guild houses around,
Yeah, I had to take pictures again.
which are
because
now
sky
all
was blue.
restaurants and
Of
shops.
course, yeah.
But yeah, we are really having a good time. We always pile a lot in, but just again, 3 day, 4 day period. We did a 3-city tour in one day: Pluckingen, Esslingen, and Kirchheim, all very cute little towns. Tübingen, and spent the day in Tübingen. Amazing, beautiful city, castle.
Yeah.
And
All
such.
of them make castles.
And then Heidelberg and the hike up to the castle in Heidelberg, and amazing views. And then the next day, the hike up to the castle of Hohenzollern on the top of that mountain. So that was,
You had a ride for a lot of it. It wasn't as much hiking as the other ones.
Right, we did get a bit of a ride for that one, but there was still quite a bit of hike. You had to hike through 7 gates before you got to the main castle.
20-some forward.
Yeah.
Hey, Curly.
And then we walked all around. Hey, Dwight. We walked all around Stuttgart and saw a lot of amazing things in Stuttgart. So we packed a lot into just the week in Ebersbach.
Yeah, we do.
We packed a lot into that week. And that was intentional, that we're going to start heavy and then things get slower.
Keep going until we can't.
Tomorrow is the last really stressful go, because it's the only one that has question marks, where we're going to get to this town, but from that town, how do we get up to the castle? There is a bus, but the bus only runs when they have people to take up there. This place is in the middle of nowhere, and they tell you, the Kuffhäuser, it's in the middle of nowhere. We talked to the tourist people. It's not meant for public transportation. You're supposed to drive yourself up there. So if all else fails, what I'll do is I'll hire an taxi and say, can you drive us up there? Even if it's 50 euros, I'll pay it. But there's a bus, and you call them and say, I want to go up to the castle. And they say, fine, we have one bus that'll go up at 2:00. And then you might have to wait until 2:00. And then you have to call them when you're ready to come down.
Hey, what are you? Your clock doesn't match.
No, that's right. 23:03.
I know. No.
All right, bye, Karen. Yeah.
The 3 and the 4 all within the same time.
Oh yeah, 23:05, 23:03.
That's all.
11:04. All right, team, coordinate our watches.
Yeah, synchronize our watches.
We got to synchronize our watches. Let's go, team.
Computer time.
So yeah, and things will slow down. We're still going to do a lot, but it's not. Tomorrow, to me, is the last heavy, stressful day. Now, I could be surprised. Something may turn into stressful.
It's not as sure as
it's just
yeah.
And to be honest, the train ride is easy enough. We just go over here to the train station, hop on the train, and we get to the town. But it's that bus connection that's the issue.
Right.
That's the scary part. The bus connection.
Right.
That's the scary part.
Yep.
And so we're very, very, I'm nervous about it. There's still things, but like Wartburg Castle, which is just outside Eisenach, but that's got tourist buses that go out there directly. And that's just how much what we're gonna pack in. And the problem is, there are times where we need to slow down. And like we did that in Ebersbach and just like, okay, let's just catch our breath. And then within an hour, somebody is marching circles around the apartment. I need to be going somewhere. I have to move. I need to be. Honey, it's raining outside. Yeah, but you stir in your eyes. You're like, I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. I got to be doing something. Well, we could go back into town and do this. No, well, it's raining. Okay. And yeah, your little bee with not enough flowers to pollinate.
Yeah, we do all right.
We do all right. We for all the times Jean talks about what a saint you are, put up with me. I think I have my moments of sainthood. Sitting in a room watching Joyce spin circles.
Yeah.
I gotta be doing something like, okay, what can I do? What can we do? And we did today. We actually slept in a little bit, and then we did laundry. But once the laundry was started, okay, when are we going? When are we going? Well, I don't know. When do you want to get going? Okay, we got to get going because I thought we were going to wait for the laundry and then leave it in. We'll go. Well, it was going to take 2.5 hours.
Forever, yeah.
But they have a washer and dryer combo in here. It worked wonders. We're all caught up in laundry finally.
Pretty much.
We're not sitting this far apart now because
we always get the Febreze.
Get the Febreze out. Yeah, it's okay. These jeans are good for another 2 days. I've only hiked 80 miles in them the last 3 days and sweated in them. Taking them off in the evening. It's like they're glued to my legs from all the sweat.
What's the problem with the hills? We go up the 300 steps.
We're good for another day.
Oh, there you go, sweaty again. Oh.
We're good for another day. Get the Febreze.
Right. So anyway.
All right. Yeah. We'll pack it in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So I apologize, but I do miss you guys, and just seeing the chat going and talking to you all is wonderful for us. It's our connection back to the world we're used to. And it's wonderful we get to travel. We are very fortunate that we have this ability now.
Right.
Not that we're living in 5-star, but this is like
we're doing all right.
We have the ability to travel and hop in and say, let's go. Or I mean, I have the ability to say, let's just sit in today. But somebody will say, we should do something. It's like, but tomorrow's the last word for me. If I'm here tomorrow and I'm still alive, then the rest of the trip is
just pictures on Facebook. You'll know he's all right.
Yeah. If I get on, because I didn't put last night or today's up yet. I don't know if I'll do it. I might. All right. But anyhow,
so
we want to thank you all for joining with us and keeping contact with us. I know we're not offering trains and stuff, but again, in case you miss trains running, just use your imagination. Little freight train for all of you guys.
Dwight, the UK is 5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time, and
so 6 hours ahead of him.
We are the UK is 5 hours ahead of him. We are 6 hours ahead of him in Europe.
No, he is in Illinois, so he's 1 more hour.
Oh, is he in Central Time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
Indiana.
You're right. Yeah. Okay.
Of course I am.
Yeah. So 6 hours and 7 hours ahead.
Freight train going through.
Yeah.
I could get some of my other cars out that I did last week, but these are the new guys running. If you didn't see them, here's the only new train. And then if you want people at the station, well, we got some bikers going along. Okay, so enough of that. Anyhow, we want to thank you all for letting us bore you, popping in, and
we're in the future.
Our only chance to stay in contact with you guys right now, because we do miss your videos and your live streams and such. And I do feel guilty, even though I know I shouldn't. I feel guilty because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy seeing what you guys are doing, your repairs, your runnings, your new stuff. I enjoy that, and I do miss it. But at the same time, I'm in Heidelberg, or I'm in Erfurt, or I'm in wherever we're at.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
So until next Friday, and hopefully next Friday. Next Friday is going to be. I may be a little late. I can't guarantee we'll start on time because we're doing Miniature Wonderland, and we're going to have a special guest. We're going to have a special guest,
Right.
and I will definitely have some special toys. So until next week, live from Neumünster in Schleswig-Holstein, Northern Germany, I'm going to say Auf Wiedersehen
Cheers.
and happy trains.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you.